Okay. You ready? You good? Okay. Councilman, you ready to go? Okay. All right, everybody. Councilmember Coleman, can I get you back on stage, please? I don't have a gavel, but typically when I have the gavel, I'm hitting. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Let's all get settled down. I'm going to start talking as if I'm talking to my kids. Slowing the voice down, recognizing it's an important moment. That's definitely not me. I'm not going to. The vice mayor suggested I start singing, but that's not going to happen. Good evening, everybody, on this very, very special moment. I like to get started, so let me call to order this December 13th, 2022 special City Council meeting to order. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please? Absolutely, take your time.
Councilmember Adiego?
Here.
Councilmember Coleman?
Here.
Councilmember Flores?
Here.
Vice Mayor Nicholas?
Present.
Mayor Nogales?
Here. I would like for everyone to please stand, as I'd like to invite the South San Francisco Police Explorers to post the colors. Please remain standing as I ask the City Manager, Mike Fertrell, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your right hand over your heart and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may sit. For now. Let me now call up Bishop Emeritus, Most Reverend William J. Justice, to do the invocation.
We all know that these years have been interesting ones. The challenges of COVID, not only the disease itself, but the isolation that has come from it with being sequestered and society itself kind of closed in. Not only is that true, but the isolation of the young people who have not been able to keep up with maybe schoolwork or not joined in. And so there's been, in our neighborhood, sometimes a rising in violence. The economy worries us, the war in Ukraine, the rise in inflation. Yet we have seen a remarkable resilience in this South City. The continued development of the biotechnology area, which is, I drove through there a couple of months ago, and it's gorgeous. I mean, each building is an architectural, I could say gem, but it's just amazing what has been going on down there. And someday the beach area, the bay, will be finished, and we can sunbathe sometimes down there. But Oyster Point and the new administrative center over on Chestnut and El Camino, amazing looking, and celebrating offices that don't need to be moved much oftener, and yet something. And then the housing, even though old timers say, "What are they doing?" But all these apartments being built, but so key to bringing people in and employment, and also having places to live. It really is an echo of Charles Dickens' opening in his book, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, and it was the worst of times. And so, Lord, and through your providence, we see the best of times are stronger, not the worst of times. And we pray that your guidance may continue to bless these civic leaders who will no longer be here with us, but may they continue to share their talents and their love for this city for many years to come. We pray for the new members, council members and new members in administration here. May they, in their optimism, in their youth, and in their sense of hope, bring the good times to continue, and to continue the path of renewal of this city. And may God bless them and keep them. May he make his face shine upon them and give them courage to continue to guide the community on the road to justice and peace for all. This then will really bring the continuation of the best of times here in South City. And we ask this in the divine name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now I'd like to call up the Praise and Glorify Choir to sing the Star Spangled Banner, if we can also stand again for this. Please sit. All right, moving on. Sorry. Keep grabbing everything. Moving on, Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
We don't have any public comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Seeing that there are no public comments, I'd like to take this time to recognize a few people in the audience. I know we will be joined later by Congressman, look at that, perfect timing. Congressman-elect Kevin Mullen. From Senator Josh Becker's office, Saul Miranda. I think I saw him earlier. Thank you, Saul. From Assemblymember Phil Ting's office, Naomi Hu. Thank you, Naomi. San Mateo County Supervisor Dave Pine. And I don't know if Linda Woolen from your office is here, but we'll also recognize her as well. There she is. Thank you, Linda. We have members from the Philippine Consul General's office. Consul General Mr. Neil Frank Ferrer. Consul General, thank you for being here. Consul Jed Martin L. Leona. Also joining us, Consul Vanessa Bago Leona. Joining us also is former Mayor, Councilmember Carol Matsumoto. I see Carol back there. She's always shaking her head. I'm going to recognize you, Carol. Also in the House, former Mayor and Councilmember Mr. Rich Gabarino. Oh, it's something good. Yes. Also, former Mayor, Councilmember John Penna. We also have our Police Chief, Scott Campbell. Fire Chief Jess Megalinis. I also believe Sheriff-elect Christina Corpus is here. There she is. Join us all the way from very far from Daly City, Councilmember Glenn Sylvester. Also from Daly City, Councilwoman Pam DiGiovanni. I believe also, I think I saw her council member from Burlingame, Emily Beach, is here. Is she back there? There she is. Okay. Colleagues, am I missing anyone, or did you see someone that I did not recognize? If not, I apologize. There are a lot of people here. So, okay, moving on. Let me declare that the purpose of why we're here. The purpose of this meeting is to reorganize the South San Francisco City Council and recognize the outgoing city manager, Mike Futrell. Madam Clerk, may we move on to item 2, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 2 is a resolution canvassing returns and declaring results of the 2022 general municipal election of November 8, 2022.
Do I have a motion from the council to approve the resolution approving the results?
So moved.
Okay, we have a first by the Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Coleman. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nicholas,
Aye.
Councilmember Adiego,
Yes.
Mayor Nogales,
Aye.
Councilmember Coleman.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. The elections have been certified. Moving on, Madam Clerk, next item, please.
We have item number 3 is the oath of office administered to officials elected and incoming remarks. We begin with 3A, which is Mark Adiego, City Council Member for District 1, who will be sworn in by our Congress-elect Kevin Mullen.
While Mark makes his way to the podium. Actually, he's here. He's standing right here. I'm not sure if I have to hold this. Let me lift this up just a little bit. I have just 2 minutes here, very briefly. Just honored to be with all of you tonight as your incoming congressman, who first took a public oath right here in this very building back in 2007, sworn in by my dad. South San Francisco is home. South San Francisco. I'll note that 3 of the last 5 congresspersons have deep South San Francisco roots, which I think says something about the political clout of South San Francisco. And I want to congratulate our outgoing mayor, Mark Nogales, currently my council representative in Westboro, but when my family moves across town to Bury, it will be Mr. Adiego, who will be representing me sometime in 2023. Congratulations to our incoming mayor, Flor Nicholas. We will be so very well served with your wielding the gavel. I'd be remiss without mentioning Mike Futrell. My sincere gratitude to Mr. Futrell, who leaves this city much better off than how he found it. What a run. As a resident of South San Francisco, I look around, I know that you've left a significant mark, particularly with regard to dynamic economic development happening in this community. It's on display throughout town. And helping steer the Civic Center project, which will be a gem for our city. Thank you, Mike, and I know Riverside, too, will be better off because of your skill set. We are deeply appreciative of your tenure. Best of luck to you and Susan and the family on your new journey. We will miss you all. Now it gives me great honor to swear in my past council colleague and future council representative, the man whose election night celebration I hijacked and made into a joint victory party, and to whom we owe a debt of gratitude, as we are so very fortunate to have his policy and political acumen, deep historical understanding of this community, and vision for what South San Francisco can yet become, even after all of its recent successes. What a legacy, sir. Councilman Adiego, it's my honor to swear you in. If you will raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Mark Adiego,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Council.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And Councilman, I forgot to give you your official certificate from the County Elections Office saying that you have yet again been elected. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Councilman, would you like to do your remarks now, or would you like to wait until?
I'll wait.
Okay. Rose?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, moving on to item 3B is Buena Flor Nicolas, City Council Member for District 3, who will be sworn in by Mary Giusti.
Raise your right hand, please. And state your name.
I, Buena Flor Nicolas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
again which I am about to enter.
upon which I was about to enter.
Congratulations, Madam Chair.
I just want to quickly thank Mary for being here today to swear me in as the representative of District 3. District 3 is the area where I have a home, and most importantly, it is the area where many loyal Italian stalwarts of the city reside. More than 35 years ago, when my children attended All Souls, we became parishioners of All Souls Church, and they all made me feel I belong. Mary, to me, represents those who are not here with us today. I still feel the love from Dick, Rose, Jeannie, Lida Prado, Lenore Armanino, and many others. I would like to thank wholeheartedly the residents of District 3 for re-electing me to the City Council. I sought re-election because I really just want to put to good use what I have learned in the last 4 years. Being a public servant is not easy. I put myself out there. Sometimes I don't win friends. Sometimes I gain some. But it's not for me. It's not for personal rewards. It's for the future of our city, which we call home, where my 3 grandchildren will grow up. I commit to another 4 years of making sure we make decisions that will have positive outcome for our diverse population that is inclusive and equitable. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mayor. We now move on to item 3C, is the swearing in of Eddie Flores, City Council Member for District 5, who will be sworn in by Lisette Alvarado and joined by his mother.
I,
State your name.
Eddie Flores,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of
or
evasion,
purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, council member.
Buenas noches. Good evening. First and foremost, before I begin, I would like to thank and give the glory and honor to the author of my faith for guiding me and opening up all opportunities and blessings in my life. I publicly recognize that I am only a vessel and a steward, created under his image and chosen by his grace, guided by his profound mercy, and that the campaign victory for this city council seat, it's God's and God's alone, not mine. To the community of South San Francisco, and especially to the voters in District 5, I want to say thank you. Muchísimas gracias. I have been so touched by the well wishes and the congratulatory notes that I have received over the past few weeks. But tonight, it's my turn to say thanks. I want to say thanks to my family who is here tonight. Every one of you that is here, Darlene, Jair, Edith, Josh, Kim, Alex, my relentless and beautiful sister, for your tenacity and pushing me to knock on more doors and walk more city blocks even when I was exhausted and hungry. Thank you for swearing me in and for your optimism and positive energy. You are a light. And to quote a renowned scholar named Rihanna, shine bright like a diamond, sis, shine bright. I want to thank my dad for your unwavering support and knowing that I can count on you lifting me up in prayer when I most need it. And of course, to my beautiful mom, Elsie, of whom many of you have come to love, appreciate, and bring her in as your own tia, sister, mom, neighbor, and friend. Mom, God doesn't make mistakes. And having the privilege of calling you my mom and my super campaign volunteer is something words can't describe. And the lessons I learned from you during this campaign, thank you. I love each and every one of you. And you can't imagine how much each one of you means. I bless each of your lives for holding an important space in my heart that belongs to each of you. Our victory also could not have been made possible without the numerous donors, volunteers, and organizations that chipped in what they could to put us over the finish line. Many of you are here today, and although I cannot offer you an ambassadorship to Tahiti or Bora Bora, I give you my love and my gratitude. Thank you in particular to the Democratic Party of San Mateo County, PYD, Latinx Dems, the dozens of labor unions, our own city workers unions, Skyline Teachers Union for your support in walking with and for me. Thank you to all my friends, Xiomara, Cesar, Maria, Aaron, Christy, my dedicated and hardworking students, and other elected officials present here for always having my back and acknowledging experience and leadership matters. Thank you, Councilmember Coleman, for all your help with my campaign. You are a person of many exceptional talents, and I hope that this city continues to see them showcased with your advocacy and service in the years to come. To my council colleagues, incoming Mayor Nicholas, thank you for your support and the great conversations of support and always being there to guide us and keep us whole. I look forward to our continued work. Councilmember Arriego, I stand in awe of your service to our city all these many years. You're a statesman, but also a jokester. And I thank you for all the history of South San Francisco you have shared with me in every conversation we have. I'd also be remiss tonight if I didn't acknowledge the love and support and thank a special family that have adopted me in love, or maybe I have adopted them since I'm older in age, the Nogaleses. Mayor Nogales, you are more than a colleague or a remarkable policymaker. You are my friend, my brother, my homie, and the guy I most enjoy watching and maybe jinxing 49ers and Warriors game with together.
No sports talk.
I have learned so much from you these past 2 years serving on the council, and I am proud to continue to serve with you in the years to come. Thank you and Amy and all your family for all your love. I will forever be your Filipino kuya. I know you share my deep love for making our city the best city ever. It would take me into January if I'd stood here and thanked every person that has supported me. Neighbors, friends, and everyone on my text threads, but know that you are important. And if you are here or watching at home, your support is incomparable, and I thank you. Quiero dar las infinitas gracias a Dios por esta victoria. Quiero dar las gracias a los votantes y residentes del Distrito 5 de Sur San Francisco, aquellos que donaron y aportaron su tiempo, su dinero, y a cada uno de ustedes, los residentes y mis vecinos de Sur San Francisco, amigos y familiares. Les agradezco con mucho cariño y juntos podemos, con la ayuda de Dios, trabajar duro estos próximos años. Tonight, I invite you to look around. This is what makes South City culturally vibrant and diverse. The uniqueness of those of us that live here. Whether we have seen eye to eye or rarely agreed at all, my conversations with you, the residents of South City, in living rooms, front porches, over the phone, via text and emails, via Zoom and in-person events, those conversations are what have and will continue to keep me honest, keep me inspired, and keep me going. And every day I have learned from you. Since you first elected me 4 years ago to the school board, you have made me a better public servant, and you have made me a better listener and a better man. We ran a campaign focused on improving the lives of District 5 residents. We prioritized the needs for more affordable housing, more investments in our children's education, the need to address displacement and bring new parks and green open spaces to our part of town, and beautify many areas that have been far neglected for way too long, and focus on creating safer corridors with better lighting, including supporting investments and better access for seniors, bringing about strong mental health services and programs to our community, and supporting local community-based economic development with our biotech and life science partners and more. For a 7-year-old boy who immigrated from El Salvador, not knowing one word of English, and leaving everything behind that was familiar to him as a first grader in his home country, this was a journey that had so many unanswered questions, but I knew God had a purpose. A child who grew up with all the challenges that a monolingual immigrant family in the 80s could face: rent displacement, racial and economic disparity, racism, language discrimination, food scarcity, lack of social and educational support, and at times being the financial provider for his family. And it was experiences like this that reflected back on my upbringing that made my conversations a dozen, connecting and listening during the last 3 months with voters here in District 5, as I knocked on hundreds of doors in District 5 and saw myself in the eyes of a few 7-year-olds who answered the door as I canvassed. And so tonight, it's not just a victory over adversity. It is a vindication of faith. It is not a matter of how long you have lived in a specific city street to understand the struggles of the families who live here. And it is not about knowing of who are the most connected or most loud in a city. But it is to understand the decades of institutional neglect and disregard for communities that have not felt seen, heard, or reached out to. It is not that District 5 is the hardest area to reach. It is that this area has hardly been reached out to. But that is changing, and that when the tough got going, our city was positioned to immediately step up and deliver to our residents, whether it was through rent assistance, food box drives, gift cards that are in the pipeline, progress and confront the issues that lie ahead. It is only befitting that we move forward united with a resolve to continue to put the needs of all our residents first. It is only when we are united that we can build on our strategies to propel this beautiful city forward. I look forward to working with everyone in the years ahead. And by the way, welcome to District 5. We're glad to have you. Thank you.
Up next, we have Rosa Govea Acosta, City Clerk, being sworn in by Jasmine Govea Acosta.
She's a little shy. Forgive her. She's not a clerk. Okay.
I state your name.
I, Rosa Govea Acosta,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
California,
the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
So that was both my husband and my daughter, who are extremely shy in front of people. I'd like to take this opportunity to say I am honored and thankful to have been reelected to serve another 4 years as city clerk. South San Francisco has been my home for over 45 years. As I reflect on my years of service, I'd like to take this opportunity to share a little bit about who I am. I am a South City girl. I am the daughter of immigrant parents. I was raised in this city and attended Spruce Elementary School, Parkway Middle School, and South San Francisco High School. I am the mother of 5 beautiful children, the grandmother of 2, a wife, and a professional. In 2014, I was elected to serve as South San Francisco Unified School District Board of Trustees. I broke barriers, becoming the first Latina to serve on the board. And in 2018, I became the first Latina to serve as city clerk for the city of South San Francisco. I share this because recently I was interviewed by a local resident who's a student at San Francisco State University, and she was working on a project discussing Latino leaders in our community. And it was interesting to her that there's not many of us. Now we have our elected council member Eddie Flores, and prior to that we had Pedro Gonzalez, so there's not a lot of us. It was an engaging conversation, and she asked me why I chose to serve in my community. And the answer is easy, because I wanted to give back to a community that has been my home and become the voice for the voiceless. I hope to be doing a great job in both. The work of the city clerk is often behind the scenes and sometimes overlooked. So tonight, I want to take the time to recognize my team who helped me get the job done to ensure that your community needs are met. Joining us tonight is Assistant City Clerk Jasmine Miranda. Please stand. We have Maricela Lomini, Administrative Assistant. And I believe in the audience we have Francisco Alvarez and Angela Di Benedetto, both my city clerk. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge my parents, Aurora and Guadalupe Govea. And I'm going to ask my children to stand because there's a lot of them. Jose, my daughter Jasmine, my daughter Vanessa, and my daughter Andrea. And my granddaughter Reina and Lexi. These are all the people that helped me be who I am today, so I am extremely thankful for you vote of confidence and for allowing me to continue to be your city clerk. Thank you. All right, Mayor. Moving on to item 3E, Frank Rizzo, City Treasurer, who's going to be sworn in by his daughter, Olive Rizzo. You got it.
Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Joe, why did the accountant cross that road? The board of people on the other side. But I do appreciate
want to talk about, as you all know, Olive, my 10-year-old daughter. We, preparing for this evening, Olive and I had the opportunity to discuss last month's election, which was a catalyst for tonight's events. We discussed why it's important for citizens to be able to pick a representative, and how that act of selecting their representative, be it a council member, an assembly member, or a city treasurer, is a basic principle of democracy. But historically, not everyone could participate. I told Olive that when I was her age, about my grandma Everly, who was an immigrant, and for whom English was a second language, and how after she became a naturalized citizen, she never missed the opportunity to walk to her Southwood neighborhood polling station to vote in whatever election was going on. And I told Olive that my grandmother explained to me that it was important to vote because where she came from, women were excluded from participating in federal elections until 1971. And in some local elections, women were excluded from voting until 1990. My grandma Everly was from Switzerland, a country in Central Europe that's known for Kuchenklocks and for chocolate and for cheese, but was not a country one thinks of voter exclusion. In the end, the lesson I hope Olive took away from our discussion is that democracy should not be taken for granted. Whether you view voting as a privilege or right or even a responsibility, democracies are fragile. It's up to all of us, the people, to exercise our voting right to ensure they are inclusive to all citizens. I know Olive's excited to vote when she turns 18 in 2030. I did want to take a moment to thank some special people. First, the hardest working person I've ever met, who juggles more priorities than the most seasoned city staffer and has the toughest constituency to deal with, namely myself and my daughter. That would be the love of my life, my beautiful wife, Robin. My biggest supporter, my daughter, Olive. All the people in this room, regardless of background or political belief, have one thing in common, and that's their love of our community. Always take pride in where you live, Olive. Whether you've lived there a few months or a lifetime, and always try to get back to your community. Don't worry if you are recognized for your contribution or not. What matters is that you do something to make the place a little bit better when you leave than when you came. As a fifth-generation South San Franciscan, I've devoted my time and my heart to my city over the years, and I know that all will probably follow in my footsteps. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't give special thanks to the city staff that worked in the basement of City Hall. Most citizens have never been to the bottom of City Hall, which was originally the first location of the police department 100 years ago. Today, it is home to the city's finance department. The employees of that department collect our revenue, pay our bills, put together our annual budgets to ensure that the city functions properly. They're the staff I work closest with and are a fount of knowledge who provide counsel to me as I do the job the citizens of South San Francisco have entrusted with me. I appreciate the hard work of this department that they do every day, and I want to thank them, especially Finance Director Karen Chang, Deputy Finance Director Jason Wong, Financial Service Manager Paul Harris, and Financial Analyst Jennifer Clemente. I appreciate everything you have done for me, and I look forward to working with you another 4 years. I thank you very much.
If I can go back now to Councilmember Adiego for his
Absolutely,
opportunity.
I appreciate Mayor Nogales indulging me because I really did want to speak last. You know, it's very different for me. I do really appreciate the joy and enthusiasm that that newcomers have to the service to their community. And I wanted to congratulate my colleagues, beginning with the city treasurer, Frank Rizzo, with Rosa Acosta, with Flora Nicholas in her uncontested campaign, how very lucky, and to Eddie Flores, who had quite a dogfight and came out way on top. So congratulations to you all. You know, I've done this for a very long time. I don't want you to do the math, but it started in 1980. And, you know, after 26 years of service and 26 years of reorganizations, that's how many I've been to. It's both a reflective and a melancholy time for me, because as I look out at the audience and I see so many faces that are familiar, I am reminded of all those who are no longer with us, all the people that felt the same way about their community, always trying to build a better South San Francisco, and they've left their mark, and they've left a tremendous foundation for this council and for this administration. And that's what we're building on. We're building on what others have given us over the many decades. So it's both a comforting time and a little bit of a sad time for me as I reflect on the past. But I must tell you that you know, this was a very different kind of election. These district elections are unlike when you run citywide, because in a district election, if your neighbor puts up your challenger's sign, that means they're not voting for you. So that took a little getting used to, because in the past, a citywide campaign, if there were 3 people running and they had one sign up, well, you still had a shot. Not today. So there are some downsides to district elections, but the greatest part for me was the ability to get out there, and I congratulate Eddie Flores for knocking on hundreds of doors. I think that I was moving towards 2,000 by the time it was over. Of course, I'm a retired man and I have a little more time. But to be able to visit so many people in District 1 and reconnect with them, friends from elementary school, people that I used to work with when I was an employed gentleman, it was just a wonderful opportunity to truly understand what District 1 was about and the needs. So I'm looking forward to the next 4 years and doing a stellar job for the people that live in Sunshine Gardens and Bury and Winston Manor. And those are tremendous, they remain tremendous neighborhoods in our city with a lot of hardworking people that are very proud to call South San Francisco their home. So it's going to be an interesting 4 years as we move ahead, and I believe I'm well prepared for it and ready for some great things to happen. So thank you for joining us this evening.
I did see a couple more people come in. I see our president of the school board, John Baker, school board member Pat Murray, and incoming school board member Amanda Anthony. So let's give them a round of applause too. Okay. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to item number 4 is a presentation to outgoing mayor and outgoing mayor remarks.
I'm going to just hand this over to Vice Mayor Nicholas.
Sure.
I can praise myself if I wanted to, but
I would like to invite you over to the front and present a proclamation to you. The prints are little, so I have to wear my glasses. Maybe this one is bigger.
okay. Bigger prints always better.
Well, Mark, it's been a year, right? And it's really wonderful, history making. First Filipino mayor of South San Francisco. Whereas on December 7th, 2021, the South San Francisco City Council held its reorganization ceremony and appointed Mark Nogales mayor. Mark was elected to the City Council in November 2018 and is proud to be one of the first Filipinos elected in South San Francisco. Whereas during his term as mayor in 2022, Mayor Nogales was influential in several high-profile projects, including the opening of the new South San Francisco Caltrain station, as well as the groundbreaking of the Orange Memorial Park Sports Field project, the continued construction of Phase 2 of the Community Civic Campus project, the new Library, Parks, and Recreation Center and the Community Theater, Council Chambers, the design of the Orange Park Memorial Aquatic Center and master plans for Orange Memorial Park and Centennial Trail. During his tenure, the city also successfully issued 2022 lease revenue bonds to raise $65 million to fund the capital projects at Orange Memorial Park. Whereas, while serving as mayor, Mayor Nogales advocated for staff efforts creating the 2022 Child Care Master Plan of South San Francisco, providing a comprehensive overview of the role child care has played and will continue to play in South San Francisco. Whereas while serving as mayor, he supported staff efforts in the restoration of programs and activities as staff adapted classes and library programming during his post-pandemic era. With Mayor Nogales' support, Parks and Rec began a public art master plan to guide the development of cultural and arts programming. He also supported the renaming of the Community Learning Center to Jean Mullen Community Learning Center, as well as the Alice Peña Bulos Community Center on Westboro. Whereas while serving as mayor, he approved to build a free city-owned public Wi-Fi network throughout the city and expanded a city-owned fiber optic network to the Westboro area. He was influential in the citywide repaving program, allowing for safer driving. Whereas during Mayor Nogales' tenure, the city adopted the city's general plan with companion zoning, as well as climate action plan, active South San Francisco bicycle and pedestrian plan, and South Line master plan. He also advocated for millions of dollars in state and federal funding for our Economic Advancement Center and implemented a guaranteed basic income program. Whereas Mayor Nogales supported public safety by improving the South San Francisco Police Department's ALPR camera program to help deter crime in the city, along with the purchase of new body-worn cameras. He was also supportive in the implementation of a mental health clinician within the South San Francisco PD. He also approved the purchase of a new ambulance, as well as funding to replace 2 fire engines and 1 ambulance. Whereas under Mayor Nogales' leadership, an ongoing commission on equity and public safety was appointed and began their work as a body, making recommendations regarding equity, safety, and securing across city departments. Whereas Mayor Nogales and his colleagues also implemented Promotores program and connecting residents to health and social services. In addition, under his leadership, the Every Kid Deserves a Bike program was created, providing children with free bikes, helmets, and locks. Lastly, he also implemented the weekly mayor newsletter in an effort to be more transparent in government communications. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of South San Francisco does hereby acknowledge Mark Nogales' service to the residents of South San Francisco, and with deep gratitude, thanks him for his leadership. Thank you very much, Mayor. And I'm also presenting your own gavel. You love this.
I do love that. Don't start crying. All right. Thank you for that. Very unexpected in a sense to hear those words from my colleagues. Let me first start off with some introductions. Let me recognize my mom and dad, Virginia and Caesar Nagals. They are two of my biggest cheerleaders. Thank you for always believing in me. Love you, Mom and Dad. Okay. My sister, Christina, her husband, Jaime. You're not the crier on the city council. Their baby, Valerie, are here as well. Christina actually works for the city of Pinole in their Parks and Recreation Department. Come on, just Parks and Recs. Okay, so public service runs in the family.
Well, how nice.
God, 2 paragraphs in. Okay. Thank you for being here. Okay, get it together. Speaking of family, I could not do this without my wife and kids. To Aiden and Josie. I know there were days I would come home tired and exhausted. But all I wanted to do was spend time with them both. Okay, come on. Eddie's the crier, not you. Okay. Okay, I'm okay now. To the First Lady, my beautiful wife, Amy Lamb. I know it wasn't easy with the demands, thank you, of being mayor, having to spend more hours away from you and the kids. Words cannot express the love I have for you all. Thanks for always being there when times are rough. I love you guys. Okay. All right, now I'm ready. Okay. Now all the mushy stuff is over. Now the policy stuff comes. Okay, here we go. You're Mark. There we go. I got this. You're Mark Nagals. I can do this. All right. As I look back on my term as mayor, I believe it was. Come on, don't say that. I believe it was a year of recovery and progress. As we slowly recover from COVID and this global pandemic, this council continued to prioritize economic recovery for our residents and local businesses. We were the first city in San Mateo County to champion a guaranteed income program where 160 South San Francisco residents receive financial assistance of $500 a month for 1 year. The early results are encouraging. They're using the money for what we thought they'll be using it for, essential needs and services. The early reports show that 87% of the participants are using the money for rent, and 82% are using it for food. Over 50% of the participants have said they're now spending the money, they're spending more time with their families because they don't need to work a second or third job to make ends meet. The participants also receive financial literacy as part of the program so they can uplift themselves from poverty. We'll be giving a final report to the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors next month, and I hope we will be able to continue this program for another year. We opened the Economic Advancement Center, or the EAC, this year in Grand Avenue, a wonderful partnership with Renaissance Entrepreneur Center and Job Train. The EAC has already helped hundreds of clients by offering workforce development and entrepreneurship services to the residents of South San Francisco and North San Mateo County. The goal for this center is to provide much-needed tools for economic recovery to some of the most vulnerable residents and small businesses, and we're achieving that goal. Through the leadership of this city council and the help of our outstanding staff and members of our fire department, we provided a free COVID vaccination site in Old Town. This council recognized that we needed to reach out to our most vulnerable during the height of the pandemic. Instead of our residents going to sites outside of South San Francisco, we went to them. Due to our efforts, over 1,500 residents were given COVID vaccines and the flu shot. It should be mentioned that city services and city staff did not stop working in person for the entirety of the pandemic, putting themselves at personal risk for the benefit of the public. Police, fire, public works, parks and recreation, library, building inspection, and many other departments kept this city going during the pandemic, and for this city, we are eternally grateful. In fact, this city council recognized the efforts of our amazing team by providing them with hazard pay and a significant raise. Not many cities can do that in the middle of the pandemic, but this council recognizes the amazing talent that we have in this city. Let's give all our city employees a round of applause. Progress at times can be bumpy, but the end results are worth it. As a city, we are continuing our equity work. The City Council adopted our Racial and Social Equity Action Plan, which was recognized by the National League of Cities as one of the best in the nation. We've taken the first steps in our action plan by embedding a new mental health clinician in the police department to co-respond to emergency calls and provide support for individuals in behavioral health crisis. We also started a Prometeras program, trusted community advisors who work in our neighborhoods to help residents with resources and information to improve their lives. And we launched a permanent Commission on Equity and Public Safety to provide a community forum to discuss these issues and make recommendations. We will continue to identify new opportunities to improve services to the community. I always like to say that we are a city that does things first. Not only are we the first city to pass guaranteed income, but we are also the first city in San Mateo County to pass a child care master plan. This city council unanimously passed this 10-year roadmap that will guide the city's public policy decisions and strategies. I look forward to working with my colleagues to implement many of the great recommendations that will help countless families in South San Francisco. This year, we started the Orange Memorial Park Sports Field renovation project. As someone who played on that baseball field for legendary coach Bob Ryan and cheered for Aiden's soccer team, I know the importance of these fields to our community. Now, we're giving our residents what they've been asking for. Brand new baseball, softball, and soccer fields with synthetic turf, lights, and electronic scoreboards. This is truly exciting as we expect to open these fields in 2023. Opening day can't come soon enough. This time next year, we'll be celebrating our reorganization at the new Civic Campus that will hold our library, parks and recreation, and community theater/council chambers. It's hard to miss on El Camino Real. Thank you to the voters of South San Francisco by supporting Measure W to build this new jewel for our city. We are scheduled to open this as well in 2023. Looks like all the great ribbon-cutting ceremonies are going to be happening under Floor's leadership. We completed our new Caltrain station that greatly improves our walkability and connectivity by allowing for easier pedestrian access to our downtown businesses. Significant improvements have been made to increase safety and ADA accessibility throughout the station. We already heard from Caltrain that ridership for South San Francisco Station has doubled. A great sign that our new Caltrain station is making a difference. Thank you to this city council and previous city councils for paving the way, especially former mayors Carol Matsumoto and mayors Rich Gabarino, who were recognized earlier. While we've done a lot this year, I couldn't have done it without an amazing team. Hi. This includes my city council colleagues. Vice Mayor Nicholas, I love saying that we made history together as the first Filipinos elected to the city council. In a few moments, you'll be making history again as the first Filipina mayor for the city of South San Francisco. And yes, we should clap. I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm honored to call you a colleague, but more importantly, a friend. Councilmember Adiego, congratulations on your re-election. I'm thrilled that I'll be working with you again. I remember when I first started as a political staffer, you were one of the first people I met. You helped guide me through my early years before I got on council, and still to this day, you provide me with wise counsel that I need to listen to. I know that we will continue to work and partner together to make our city better. To Councilmember Flores, I'm so happy for you. I know how hard you worked on this campaign. It absolutely paid off. I remember the first time I met you, and I was like, who the heck is this guy? But over the years, I've come to call you my brother, and I know you will represent your district and this city with honor. To Councilmember Coleman, I've seen you grow in this position. You're always fighting for the little guy and for those who don't have a voice. I know you will continue to do that, and I look forward to the opportunities we can move our city forward. I believe exciting things lay ahead for our city with your leadership, and I can't wait to see them. To the best and hardest working city clerk in the county, Rosa Acosta, congratulations. You love this city so much, and I know how hard you work. We are extremely lucky to have Rosa as our city clerk, so thank you, Rosa. Frank Rizzo, congratulations to you on your own win. When I first campaigned for city council, I stopped by your house, and we had such a great conversation about our city and what you wanted to see for your family and for all South San Francisco families. That conversation has stayed with me, and I'm happy I will continue to work with you for years to come. To the team at City Hall, I wanted to say thank you to all of you, Mike, Sharon, Leslie, Christina, Marie, Renee, and Sky, and everyone else in between. Hopefully I didn't drive you all too crazy with my demands and requests, but I couldn't have done it without you. I want to especially recognize our outgoing city manager, Mike Futrell. You've been a great city manager, and it's going to be a tremendous loss for all of us as you go to the city of Riverside. I constantly hear from other elected officials that South San Francisco is doing amazing work. And I tell them that's because we have an amazing team that was led by you. Mike, we know you're going to continue to do great things. Best of luck to you and your family. Don't be a stranger to come visit us every once in a while. Lastly, yes. Lastly, let me say thank you to the residents of South San Francisco. 4 years ago, you elected me in the last citywide race. Then in District 2, you elected me in 2020 when we converted to district elections. I've never taken this role or this responsibility for granted. This is the best job I've ever had. You made this South City kid's dream come true. To serve his city that he loves so much. I hope I can continue to make you proud. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Where am I? Madam Clerk, item number 5, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Moving on to the reorganization of the City Council.
Mr. City Attorney, did you want to?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Because we have a somewhat unusual rotation this year, I've been asked to provide a brief explanation. The City Council has a long-standing policy regarding the rotation of the mayor and vice mayor positions, which is maintained in a handbook with other council policies. According to that policy, the anticipated rotation for next year is that Councilmember Nicholas will serve as mayor and Councilmember Nogales will serve as vice mayor. That's the result of several factors in the policy. Councilmember Nicholas currently serves as vice mayor, and the policy is for the current vice mayor to become mayor the following year. The next rotations for vice mayor are based on the 2020 election, which, as you've heard a couple of times tonight, included the transition of 2 city council positions to district elections. Well, at that election in 2020, Councilmember Nogales was elected to one of the district positions, leaving the remainder of his at-large term vacant. He was also the highest vote getter at the 2020 council election. So under the policy, because Councilmember Nogales was elected in 2020 to his district position and received the highest number of votes, he is in line to become vice mayor next year, even though he served as mayor this year. So that is the policy for council rotations. In case there are any, just to clarify, Councilmember Coleman was also elected to a district position in 2020 and is in line to become vice mayor in 2024 and mayor in 2025 if he's reelected in 2024.
Thank you for that, Sky. Now, I'd like to open the floor for nominations for mayor.
Mayor Nogales?
Yes.
It would be my pleasure to nominate, there's a long line of wonderful women that have served the city of South San Francisco, and I've had the distinct pleasure to serve with all of them, going back to Roberta Telia and Carol Matsumoto, Liza Normandy for a brief amount of time, and so I think you know what direction this nomination is going in. But I've, over the last 4 years, when Flora first arrived, I knew so very little about her, except that she ran a tremendous campaign. And I've grown to really appreciate the way that she looks at the world, the way she communicates with both her constituents and her colleagues. I find her to be a very calming force on the city council, and that's something that sometimes this councilman in particular needs, that calming force. So it is with a great deal of pleasure that I'd like to put the name of Buenaflor Nicholas into nomination as mayor.
Great. I have a first by Councilmember Adiego. Do I have a second? Who'd like to make that?
I'll gladly second.
We have a second by Councilmember Coleman. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Thank you. Councilmember Adiego?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nicholas?
Aye.
Councilmember Coleman?
Yes.
Mayor Nogales?
Absolutely, yes.
Councilmember Flores?
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. At this time, I'd like to invite Flor Nicholas's grandson. Do you want to introduce your grandson? To give you the oath of office as mayor.
Of course. Like I've been saying, the future of South San Francisco is on the hands of these young people. And so it's my pleasure to introduce my oldest grandchild, my grandson, Ignatius Del Tavio Nicolas. May I also invite my family, my immediate family, to stand up and join us.
I state your name.
I, Buenaflor Carpio Nicolas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I will take this obligation freely
that I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Nice job. You can do it from there. You're the mayor now. You're in charge. You can do whatever you want.
You know, Ignatius has a great speaking voice. You should start grooming him now.
Well, thank you very much, Iggy. Now, okay. At this time, I'd like to invite,
sorry.
that's not.
That's you.
So I now I would like to open the floor for nominations for vice mayor. Do I get a motion? Well, since I'm the mayor and you said I can do what I want right now, it is my great pleasure to nominate Mark Nogales as vice mayor.
And Mayor Nicholas, I like the sound of that. Mayor Nicholas, I'd like to second that, but I do have a statement I want to put on the record. You know, I'm aware of how the handbook, you know, was created and the reasons why that was created. There was a time where there was not as much civility on council, especially when it came to picking who might be mayor and vice mayor. And so the rules of the road that the handbook includes were designed so that we didn't have any unfairness or an inequitable process. Unfortunately, I think that with district elections, that's changed the way this language works. And in fact, we don't have as much fairness and equity as we might otherwise have. So I'm going to encourage the mayor and my colleagues to look at this in the new year, because I think it really needs to be addressed, that some of the premises of it as far as height vote getters citywide don't create a situation that is truly fair when so many people are required to run in districts, or that's our program now. So I hope in the new year we can take some time to look at this as a body.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And I would, to Councilmember Adiego's point, I would support that as well, as we look at how we can improve and have more equity amongst ourselves.
Well, being a city of inclusion and equity, and we're equitable, we are supposed to look at this. So thank you. Now, do I need a second? And you
I did second.
did second. So, Madam Clerk? may I
I'm
have
sorry,
a
Mayor.
roll call?
I had a first from Councilmember Adiego. The second was
No, the
from.
first-
No, my first,
Oh, your first.
yes, I moved and yeah.
Councilmember Flores,
Yes.
Councilmember Coleman,
Yes.
Councilmember Adiego,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Nicholas.
Aye.
Sorry,
Mayor.
Mayor Nicholas. Mayor Nicholas here.
It's okay, I will say yes to both.
And Vice Mayor Nogales.
Not yet, but
Yeah, we have a
yes.
quorum. Thank you.
So now congratulations, Vice Mayor Nogales.
Thank you very much.
So, Madam Clerk, for item number 6.
Moving on to item number 6, a presentation to the outgoing city manager.
We have a proclamation from Congresswoman Jackie Spears' office, and unfortunately, she or her staff could not come. However, our former Mayor Mark Nogales, that sounds funny. Former Mayor Mark Nogales used to work for Congresswoman Spear and is a close personal friend of hers. So I'm going to ask Mark to come up and present this proclamation.
Mike, if you can come up here. I feel like I'm back in my old role of working for Jackie and presenting certificates. You know, it's very rare when you can have someone who can work for the city as a city manager for 9 years and be able to list off numerous accomplishments for our city. And we are very, very lucky to have Mike as our city manager. And so when you get a congressional record, it's actually a pretty big deal, because you can actually go on a website and you type in Mike Futrell, his name will pop up in the halls of Congress. So for generations of South San Francisco residents, they will know about your accomplishments, Mike. So I know there's a lot of whereases here, but let me just read a couple here. One of the most visible changes in South San Francisco during his tenure are the increase in the construction of housing units and the revitalization of downtown, both priorities for Mike. More than 4,500 new residential units will be built in the next 5 years, a significant effort to address the crushing housing shortage in the Bay Area. Press reports indicate that under his leadership, the city's biotech employers are expected to be double more than square footage, from 12 million to 25 square feet within the next few years. Madam Speaker, South San Francisco is a remarkable community, and Mike's contributed greatly to its success. He will now take his talents to Riverside, California, where he'll be closer to his children. We wish Mike and his wife Susan our very best for our successful future in their home, but both will be missed but fondly remembered in the years ahead. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mark. And I'd like to invite Saul Miranda, who is representing Senator Josh Becker's office, to come up and present.
Buenas tardes. Good evening. I am here today on behalf of Senator Becker to deliver a certificate of recognition to outgoing City Manager Mike Futrell. In appreciation of your years of service and leadership as City Manager for the City of South San Francisco, through your service with South City and numerous other local organizations, you have been a remarkable champion for our community and its residents. On behalf of the people of 13th Senate District, please accept our gratitude for your good work and sincere best wishes in your future. Thank you.
Thank you, Saul. And lastly, we have Linda Wolin from Supervisor Dave Pine's office to present a resolution to Mike.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Linda Wolin. I'm here representing Supervisor Dave Pine, who proudly represents the city of South San Francisco. First, I want to, First, I want to thank the council members who've been reelected, and to Mayor Nicholas and Vice Mayor Nogales. It's a pleasure working with all of you. We do so much here in South San Francisco to serve the residents, and we're really proud of the work we do. So Supervisor Pine was here at the very beginning and was very sorry he had to leave. Unfortunately, fortunately, there's a lot of reorganizations happening all over the county tonight and this week. I do have here a resolution passed by the Board of Supervisors and signed by all 5 of them, commending Mike Futrell for his years of service here in the city of South San Francisco. A lot of accomplishments have already been mentioned, will continue to be mentioned. You've done so much for the city, and we're also proud and honored to have you here. But Supervisor Pine wanted me to mention 3 particular things. First, many of you may or may not know that we recently created a flood and sea level rise resiliency district, commonly referred to as One Shoreline, and Mike was really instrumental behind the scenes in getting that up and running. Now it's like, it was a little baby and maybe now it's a toddler, and soon we'll be sending our teenager off to somewhere. But it's a fledgling organization that is doing a lot to protect the county from sea level rise and other climate change impacts, and Mike was really instrumental in getting that started, and we appreciate that. We've also worked together on establishing a homeless outreach team here in the city of South San Francisco, which has been really instrumental in contacting individually people who remain unhoused on the street. And it's a collaboration between the city and the PD and the county and a couple of organizations, and it's done a really good job in trying to address the needs of that population. And then lastly, we are so proud to have partnered with the city on the Economic Advancement Center that's already been mentioned. We're so happy to have it in downtown South City and to serve the residents here on a walk-in basis and to serve the rest of the county. So for these and many other things, we thank Mike Futrell for his service. Supervisor Pine has called Mike an orator and a Renaissance man, but he also has been tremendously successful in hiring staff, as you've seen tonight. The city could not have a better staff, and we are so sorry to lose him as city manager, but you've left a staff that will carry on your legacy and will be in good hands. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Linda. And I would like to add a personal note to Mike that I also was thinking we'll have a great year together. Unfortunately, that wasn't in the cards, but thank you very much. On behalf of the entire City Council, I'd like to take this time to say thank you. This is from all of us here. Sometimes those two words alone don't seem to suffice. Such is the case. We are in a better position because of your leadership, your vision, your passion. I want to emphasize that we here, the city would not be where it is without having you at the helm. Your dedication to the city and our city staff is commendable, as is your readiness to do whatever is needed to be done for the betterment of our city. You fostered a positive team environment, and your list of accomplishments is quite long. In conclusion, we are very grateful to have you as part of our South San Francisco family, and you have left us with some big shoes to fill. I would like to turn this over to Mike for some parting words.
Thank you. And thank you all. What a crowd. It has been an honor of my lifetime to serve you as your city manager. And there's so many people to thank. It wasn't me. There were so many people all sharing the same vision of where they wanted South San Francisco to go. And we had that conversation regularly. First and foremost, my wife, Susan, thank you so much. For letting me go to late night council meetings or committee meetings or whatever trash pickup we'd organized. Thank you for your support. It was unending. And then to city councils, present and past, please understand how blessed you are as a city to have had a series of just wonderful city councils. You don't have to look far in the peninsula to see otherwise. So I will say to this city council, thank you for the honor of allowing me to serve you. And to past city councils, Mayor Carol Matsumoto, Mayor Rich Garbarino, Mayor Liza Normandy, Mayor Pradeep Gupta, thank you all for that. And for the others, Kevin Mullen, wow, what a champion for this city and someone I really enjoyed working with. Supervisor Dave Pine, who was here as well, a super champion for South San Francisco. And then I'd greatly appreciate someone just now mentioning your city staff. These are the finest people I have ever worked with in my entire life, bar none. It is such, yes, just great people. It is certainly bittersweet. Susan and I moved here 9 years ago from Hawaii, and I'm grateful for that city council at that time for taking a chance on someone and bringing me in to work in this city as I have. Our son James was in middle school, went to St. Veronica's in high school, graduates from Berkeley in May. Yay, right? He will be commissioned a U.S. Navy officer in May, following in my footsteps. Yay. And then we'll be stationed on a ship in San Diego. So we have a lot of family there, and it's been mentioned we'll be moving to SoCal to be closer to him and to family. But a big, big piece of my heart will always be in South San Francisco. I absolutely will be back. There are so many people to thank, particularly on city staff. But Sharon Reynolds, thank you so much for your over 40 years. Yes. Sharon has been a fabulous assistant city manager, and prior to that, Park and Rec director. My last day in the office is Christmas Eve, and after that, Sharon will be the interim city manager as the city moves forward in transition. But know this, you have an amazing city council that is seasoned and has a real vision of where this city's going, and you have a spectacular, dedicated, inspired city staff. And the city's budget is on track, and there's nothing but blue skies for South San Francisco. I'm very humbled to have been a little piece of that, and I will absolutely be back. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I turn it back over to you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moving on to item number 7 is the incoming remarks from the mayor.
We're getting there. I would just like to acknowledge the love and support of my family and friends here. Some introductions because I really owe a lot to them. My husband, Ninar, Nicholas, and my children, Elijah and Genevieve, their spouses, Shirley and Eldon. My grandchildren, Iggy, Ari, and Isa. Please stand. I have a lot of extended families here, so I'll just quickly mention them. Our nephews, John, his wife, Julie, sons, Dylan and Ryan, Vince, wife, Sharon, and son, Victor, Melvin, his wife, Michelle, children, Maggie and April, my cousins, Adele and Connie Soriano, my daughter-in-law's family here, the Santoses, my close friends, the Validos, the Ofrasios, and Gannon families who are also here. Thank you very much to my spiritual advisor, Bishop Emeritus, Bishop Bill Justice. And I see also clergies here from All Souls, Father Casimir. I know that Father De La Rosa is somewhere here, and Father Kitalig said he will be here. My Mother De La Rosa, All Souls, and St. Augustine families, especially the Praise and Glorify Choir. Thank you for supporting me. I also have my Masonic family, my college friends who came, the Aberines and the Tampincos, my kababayans. Apologies if I forget anybody else. I'm really, really sorry. First of all, I would like to thank Jim McGuire, the Executive Director of the Conference Center, for hosting us here. It's really very special to me to have this installation of my installation here at the Conference Center because I have been a member of the Conference Center Authority Board for many years before I became a City Council member. And they also have a very special place in my heart. Many times in our lives, we get to crossroads, and the future decisions and the decisions that we make at that point in time shape our future. I did not come to America, if I did not come to America, I will not be here today as your new mayor. I was born in the Philippines with humble beginnings. Both of my parents have very limited education. My mother due to poverty, and my father's family could afford to send him to school, but he doesn't have any interest at all. As a child, I knew how it was to be marginalized. My maternal grandmother lived with us until her death when I was 9, but she had very profound effect on me. She kept on telling me that I have to do better. Until this moment, her words still ring in my ears. She was a single mother at 35. Her husband died suddenly with 3 children to raise. She was illiterate, no read, no write. Her greatest achievement before her death was she was able to write her name, Justa Villegas Meero, which I taught her after I learned how to read and write in school. For as long as I can remember, I strived to do well in school, in life, at work, and in honor of her today, I am here, and I hope she's proud of me. In a span of 3 generations, I was able to uplift our lives from a woman who could hardly write her name or make ends meet to a woman who I become today. And I am very proud and humbled to be the 4th woman mayor of a 114-year-old city. The spirit of my grandmother is with me today, and we will do better. I am deeply honored and humbled. Our immigration story started when my sister-in-law, during the reunification. I forgot to introduce my sister-in-law. Sorry. My sister-in-law who lives in Chicago with her husband, Ramesh. They were the ones who petitioned for us to be here, to come here to the United States. It was the crossroad, and we chose to come and leave our budding professions. I have a degree in chemical engineering and working as an analyst at the Philippine National Oil Company in the think tank group of the former Minister of Energy, Minister Velasco. We are very familiar with what the immigrants go through, arriving in a foreign land, living with relatives, sleeping on the floor of a living room for a few months, until my husband found a job. Starting a career all over again, finding childcare, making sure that the children are cared for and able to thrive. We moved to an apartment, eventually to a townhouse, to a single home, and now I am living in my dream home. On the job, I worked as a pharmacy technician at Kaiser Permanente for 3 years to allow me the flexibility to take my kids to school in the morning, transitioned to a job at an electronic pharmaceutical database as a researcher, and as an immigrant, I'm always looking for a better way, juggling opportunities to advance a career, taking care of my children, volunteering time to the community when I can. When most of my coworkers were finding jobs at biotech companies at East Grand, I also tried, but I found no success. Genentech didn't hire me. A small biotech company at the time, Gilead, in Foster City, gave me a chance. Again, there was my grandmother urging me to do better. I rose from being a data entry person, always trying to learn the skills I need to be better, and eventually became a manager. Years of experience and good career choices got me to where I am today, the Vice President of Global Drug Safety and Pharmacovigilance of a precision oncology company located in Newark. Some made it sound like my affinity to the biotech industry is a handicap in my work as an elected official. The truth of the matter is that it made me a better person and a leader.
In my professional life, I have to make sure that the treatment we are developing is not only efficacious, but also with positive benefit risk profile. If there are risks, I am trained to strategically develop the ways to minimize them to ensure patient safety. With my life and work experiences and faith, I commit myself to having the best interest of South San Francisco all the time. I will always look for ways to get better, not just for one group of people, but for all, longtime residents, new arrivals, elderly, youth, ability-challenged, and anyone who resides here. There will be more crossroads, and we will, for sure, make that decision when it gets there. We are still in a precarious position, although there are good signs of economic recovery in the horizon. I am very much aware of how quickly things could change, and we have to position ourselves to minimize the risk. Looking ahead, we will inaugurate the 4 new fields in Orange Memorial Park when the baseball season opens in spring, move into our new Library Parks and Recreation building at the corner of Chestnut and El Camino in late summer, and break the ground for the new aquatic park and fire station, hopefully. Last November, our city became one of the 10 cities in the entire country to qualify for the Race, Equity, and Leadership Academy. As an extension of the work that was done by the Commission on Racial Social Equity that I chaired. We will continue to improve the beautiful tapestry of this diverse, inclusive, and equitable city. We are also working on becoming an age, ability, and youth-friendly city, not just in words, but in deeds. We will continue to support local businesses and initiate raising community capital for entrepreneurs who benefited from Renaissance in our Economic Advancement Center. My colleague Mark Adiego and I will also roll up our sleeves very soon to start working on the recommendations of our child care master plan. There's a lot of work ahead, including hiring a new manager. Mike's leaving surely leaves a void. However, I'm truly indebted to our Assistant City Manager, Sharon Reynolds, for stepping up, another woman supporting another woman who agreed to be our interim city manager. Thank you, Sharon. I enjoined this room full of people to collaborate with me, remain engaged. This is for all of our benefit. I cannot do all the work what I need to do without everyone's support, including the city staff. And like Mike said, we have the best. They are out there. Including our former mayors Kevin Mullen, Matsumoto, Garbarino, and Anna, who made sure that we are in this enviable position. We are in this enviable position. We are fiscally healthy, and we are still the economic engine of San Mateo County. Today, as Mark always said, this completes the Filipino history for having the first Filipino mayor and Filipina mayor of the city. And so, thank you to all of my kababayans, and I am looking forward to having more Filipinos in the city council. I love that we have the same council today, and I would like to congratulate all of the newly electeds. I am sure that we have a good foundation to continue working collaboratively. Let us then get down and do the work. Salamat po. Thank you, and at this time, I'd like to now adjourn the meeting and invite all of you next door for a reception. Maraming salamat.
I think that's what it was. Couldn't get past it. I would. Also want to talk about